Welcome back. If you're headed north towards Grosley, please be advised that you can prepare for some traffic. If you're headed to the north of the island at this particular time or any time from now, we have a vehicular accident on the Monjuro Hill, that intersection with the Moshi Gap, and already there's a backup of traffic there. So if you are heading north, makes sense to utilize the back roads or prepare for some traffic as well. 7 now past 8 o'clock. My very special guest is already on the Flow video line. I will keep her holding no longer. Say good morning to the newly minted president of the National Youth Council, Mrs. Yanika Jabat Williams. I got the name right on this occasion. Good morning.
Good morning to you, Shannon, and it's a pleasure of you having me here this morning.
The pleasure is all ours. Let me start off by extending congratulations to yourself, Madam President, and to your executive.
Thank you so very much.
You're most welcome. St. Lucia, of course, especially the youth, we look forward to your service on behalf of our nation. Let's start off and break the ice. Tell us, who is Yanika Jabat Williams?
Okay, Yanika Jabat Williams. I am a teacher by profession. I am a youth advocate. I'm also the president of the Denver Youth and Sports Council and newly elected president of NYC, and also a proud mother.
Nice. I don't know which one goes first, the proud mother or the NYC president, but either one is fine with us. Last weekend, the NYC held its elections. You were elected president. Tell us about the other members of your executive.
Okay, my executive is made up of a wide range of professionals, individuals who are passionate about the youth movement and want to see a positive change for the youth of St. Lucia. My executive comprises of Mr. Dylan Emmanuel, who is the first vice president, Ms. Zina George, who is the second vice president, Ms. Nicole Harrell, who is the general secretary, Mr. Marcus Girau, who is the assistant secretary, Ms. Janique Louis, who is the treasurer, and Janine Bonzag, who is our PRO.
Yeah. I saw the smile when you mentioned Geneva, and we continue to congratulate the entire team, herself as well. You know, when your PRO is working, Madam President, when you log on for an interview and the first person you see on the link is your PRO, your PRO is obviously working already. Nisha, good morning and happy Thursday to you. Talk about the election process and the campaign as well. How was it, and how does participation in such prepare youth for leadership?
Okay, so the leading up to the General Assembly showed how passionate, I must say, the youth of St. Lucia they are. We got the opportunity, and when I say we, I speak of the nominees, we got the opportunity to network with new individuals who offered us awesome and great insight into their realities, and I'm speaking of the youth. Thinking of the process, it showed that young people in St. Lucia, they are concerned about the future of our country, just as our other persons are, well, basically thinking about what the future of St. Lucia will be.
Excellent. What is the mandate of the NYC, and is this role still important now?
The mandate is still relevant. However, there are a few tweaks which needs to be made to ensure it remains updated with the current situation facing our youth in St. Lucia. I know you may ask the question how it needs to be tweaked. What I can say is that I can't divulge all our plans here. We're organizing a press conference where all these matters will be addressed.
You're briefed by your PRO. You're briefed by your PRO, Ms. Jabat. You're well briefed by your PRO. That's fine with me. We're all on the same side here. Tell us about some of the plans that you have for the 2-year term.
When you speak of the plans that we have, my team and I, we believe that many times when we make plans for our society, it tends to be from the top to the bottom. However, we would like to change this and take it the other way around and do the bottom-up approach. The persons that we serve, they're the young persons, and therefore would like to meet with them to make the right decisions for them. So from hosting of meetings, then we will be able to know what recommendations that we could make and what plans that we could bring forth for the development of our young people.
Excellent, and it's a noteworthy approach that you will develop plans out of consultation with the people who that it is that you serve, the youth. But coming into the chair of the presidency, I know that you have some ideas as well. What would be some of the key priority areas you think that the young people are looking for leadership and guidance towards?
Okay, so some of our key areas that I think needs great attention of the safeguarding of our youth, the revamping and rebranding of NYC to give young people that sense of that feeling that, hey, they have a voice. Hey, there's people supporting them and want to see the best for them. We also believe that sustainability and inclusivity are some of the key and key areas that we will be focusing on.
Excellent. I know that you mentioned the image and brand of the NYC. Very important. The public was well sensitized on the scandal. We won't speak to it in any particulars now, but you have a big mandate to restore public confidence in the National Youth Council. How do you intend to do so?
How do we intend to restore confidence?
Yeah, public confidence.
Okay, so we want to consult and inform youth on what is going on, and that is quite important. Get on the ground level, help them to see that we are there for them, forgo deeper connections with stakeholders, and because we realize that, hey, this is just not NYC, but we need to unite and collaborate with our stakeholders and create avenues to ensure district youth and sports councils are working in tandem with NYC.
Yeah. Excellent. Let's now go, Madam President, to some of the ticklish issues or the current day issues which affect and impact youth. We know the high rate of crime on the island, and youth involvement in particular in crime continues to be a major concern. What are some of the ways the problem can be tackled from your perspective?
Okay, from it's not basically my perspective, but the perspective of my team. We plan to meet the youth. And if you realize, Mr. LeBon, that I keep highlighting this, planning to meet the youth, and that is important, understanding their needs, and then to make the necessary recommendations. We have realized that the family is a bit dysfunctional compared to that of our traditional family setting or structure, where there was deeper focus on morals and values. So how can SL NYC help? We think implementing and collaborating again with key stakeholders to provide support to families. Many people who have begun families and are in need of training, that is parenting, training, etc. We would be looking at this. The schools also need to get involved. Many times we see when those situations arise, it is due to basic lack of conflict resolution skills. So these are some of the conflict resolution would like to see coming from the schools. Also, counseling. I'm a teacher myself, and the pressure that is placed on counseling counselors, sorry, is a bit too much. So we believe that there needs to be more counselor presence, not just at the secondary schools, but also at our primary and infant school levels, because I always believe in order to tackle or to prevent certain habits from escalating, it needs to be dealt at a very young age to avoid further disaster or young people falling between the cracks. Also, positive influences need to be highlighted more in the media and as well on social media. We need to show youth that good things are happening too, and I think we focus too much on showing the negative aspect of our young people.
Yeah, thanks for that, and that's a good point. Imagine, just as we speak in here, we're getting news of another homicide on St. Lucia. We are on the phone lines with the police, and we will share the confirmed details shortly. A few issues that you raised on that I want to focus. The need for us to highlight the positives, because there are a lot of young people in business, in sports, and other sectors who don't get highlighted. Why do you think, and it's not an issue with the media, you know, it's a society issue. Why do you think people gravitate towards the negative more so than highlighting the positives?
I honestly think that our culture in society in St. Lucia has changed. I remember when growing up that the saying would be, it takes a village to raise a child. And many times it's like we just run towards the negativity, and you will see a young person doing something good and they're not giving the compliments, they're not giving the respect that is needed for their talents and skills. But just one negative thing will just be on a blast. And then these are some of the questions that myself as a president of NYC and also my executive, we're asking ourselves, what is it that, why is it that young people or persons on the whole tend to show negativity? So this is one of the key things that we can't really find answers to, Shannon, simply because we believe there are so many diverse issues affecting that. So it's basically when we get on the ground, we'll be able to give you and St. Lucia and the youth a better response to that.
Excellent. And another one which piqued my interest, the breakdown of the family structure. Another big thing, because the family played an instrumental role in raising and instilling good principles in children. That seems to have disappeared now with the long hours that parents are called on to work. How do we begin to mend that situation?
Again, Shannon, there are many persons who have begun their families, very young persons. And I am a parent as well, and I will tell you, being a young parent, sometimes it can be challenging, especially maybe when you are a working parent, also when you do not know how to make ends meet for your family. So because of the survival, being unable to survive and getting your basic needs, it forces the structure to basically go a different way. You have a lot of single parents who are unemployed. You have a lot of parents who are working and do not have the time to care for their young ones because those hours are very hectic. And at the end of the day, you need to survive. So the structure of the family, there are so many issues affecting it, but we believe if the necessary, when the right approach is used, then we could build our family structure. And again, like I said, parental training is key. It is key, and I am a teacher and I see it every day. Parents come to schools and they tell you, I'm frustrated with this child. However, we need to understand that the children as well, they are trying to find themselves and their identity. So there is so much that needs to be looked into when we look at the family structure.
Yeah, definitely there's so much that needs to be considered. For young people, some of whom who participate or who support criminal activity, what would be your message to them as the new incoming president?
And that's a very good question, Shannon. St. Lucia National Youth Council has a zero tolerance policy when it comes to sex crime against youth. Yannicka Jabba William has a zero tolerance policy for sex crimes. In fact, all crime against youth. We plan again to involve all key stakeholders, that is the ministry, the Royal St. Lucia Police Force, just to name a few, to ensure that youth have a safe space and that the youth know that they have a safe haven or environment where they can thrive. Also, not forgetting our safeguarding policy, which the St. Lucia National Youth Council has started. We believe with this policy, once greater focus is placed on it, our young people will reach far.
But the position of your executive is clear as it relates to sex crimes in particular and all crimes against and involving young people.
Yes, it is quite clear. We know that crime is not the way to go. We understand the challenges that are being faced by our young people. But taking the easy way out, like I say to our young people, it does more harm than good. Whatever the crime is, it is a time for us to put the guns down, put the knives down, and even feast down and work together for a sustainable and bright future of our young people in St. Lucia. Let us work together for the progress, work together for a better St. Lucia. I want to know that when I go to meet my creator, that St. Lucia is in good hands.
There's a school of thought that the actions of the young people are a reflection of the actions of the wider society. Do you buy into that?
Could you please repeat that?
I'm saying there's a school of thought that the actions of the young people, particularly as it relates to involvement in crime, is a greater reflection of the actions of the wider society. Do you buy into that?
I won't really agree to that. Again, like I said, there are several reasons why young persons may engage in those behaviors. So I would say to some extent, but not fully.
Yeah. Just one more from me on youth in crime. And my guest before you, a victim of crime herself, now recovering, and she's doing very, very well. She's a victim of sex crime. And in the discussion with her, and we've heard it come up over and over again, victims of such crimes, they tend to make to feel like they are the ones who did wrong. How concerning is that for the NYC, and how do we begin to turn and change that culture here in St. Lucia, where victims can feel safe to go to a safe space and be comforted that they will be given the requisite support and attention there?
Okay, what I can say is that the system has been basically failing our victims in some way. You find that the system is a bit slow in terms of maybe bringing justice. You find that the institutions that need to protect those young persons and ensure that they go back into society, living a comfortable life after those situations, that they somewhat go through their own difficulties. And again, these are reasons why we need to meet with key stakeholders to ensure that correct measures are put in place to help persons go back into society feeling safe and comfortable.
Yeah. Thanks for that, Madam President. A contribution here from one of our viewers. Somebody is recommending that, saying good morning to you and your guests. Meeting the youth is important. please tell Madam President to include a meeting with the SALCC student body as well. It sounds like that's already on
Yes,
your
and
agenda.
that is one of our key things on the agenda, to meet with the schools. So pretty soon we'll be having school visits. We'll be getting more information from our school population in terms of what other issues are affecting them.
Yeah. The writer is saying that he is in a position to facilitate that engagement with the St. Louis Community Council student body. So I will share the contact there with you as well. The president of the National Youth Council, new president of the National Youth Council, she's my very special guest this hour. We're talking youth affairs. Yanika, I know that you're anticipating a meeting with the Ministry and Minister of Education as well.
Yes, and he is actually my past teacher, and I'm very much interested and excited to meet with him after such a long time in the classroom. There are, again, some key issues that we want to speak with the minister about, and as well as the Minister of Youth and Sports, which is basically responsible and charged with to look after our young people in St. Lucia.
Yeah. Well, what are some of the priority areas you think which should occupy the discourse at that table?
Again, in terms of education, that would be allowing students to have a voice, especially in the a voice in decision making, because many times our students believe that they do not have a voice. So having a voice on student boards, this is very important, and being part of decision-making process.
Excellent. I'm happy that you went there. Being part of the decision-making process takes us to my next question. Do you get a sense that the youth of St. Lucia need a greater voice and a bigger seat at the decision-making and leadership tables?
I definitely believe that we need to have a greater voice. And again, I think you have said it yourself, we do need a greater voice. But I don't think a greater voice, I don't think there's a need for a really greater voice. We have that voice, we just need to speak up. The young people need to speak up. Let those in authority know that, hey, we have issues that need to be attended. We also have suggestions, and we want you to take in those suggestions. So we just need to speak up as young people. And that my executive will be doing on the behalf of the young people of St. Lucia.
We look forward to that and your leadership in that regard. But why do you think young people are not speaking up on issues which confront them and affect them?
I think the reason why is simply because they are not given the opportunity and they are not involved. So we definitely need to have the young people actively engaged in those things.
Let's talk about involvement for a bit. Is there a need for more youth to get involved in the movement? Of course there is need, but how do young people get involved in the movement and become affiliated with the National Youth Council?
Okay, so they could join a club in their community. That's how I started. Join a club in your community, be it football, be it any youth-related club or organization in your community. Join a district youth and sports council where you get to make a valuable contribution to your community and to use your skills and talents for the betterment of your society. Sending us an email is also another way to get involved. Engage us on social media. We are on Facebook, Instagram, so you could reach us on there. Come to our events that we put on, and that is very important. When we create events, they're basically to get deeper insights and to get feedback from our young people and reach out to an executive member. If you realize we're from almost every community of St. Lucia, not just the north, not just the south, but we're all over.
Yes.
And that is the good thing of having the new executive.
Yeah, absolutely. This new executive, it represents the 4 geographic locations of St. Lucia. So definitely there's need for greater youth involvement, and we look forward to the initiatives that you will undertake to stimulate the interests of young people in being part and parcel with this movement from your new executive. Madam President, you get a sense sometimes that there is a disconnect between the district councils and the central body, the NYC, and even more so the community clubs and the district councils. Speak to the importance of cohesion and partnership and greater collaboration there.
Okay, so what many persons need to understand is NYC is basically the parent organization of the District Youth and Sports Councils, and the District Youth and Sports Council further now is responsible for the clubs and organizations within the communities. In order to, it's not that we're disconnected, it's just that as the time goes by and coming from COVID, you've realized that a lot has changed. And because of that, we need to ensure that, you know, that we cater to the interests and the needs of our young people. And again, like you said, so that we could avoid those disconnects.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but working closer with the district councils and the NYC would be to the benefit of the youth in general, the greater benefit of youth.
Yes, it would be. It definitely would be, because the DYSCs are the ones doing all the groundwork with the young people in the community. And it is important that we connect with them in order to get to know and create programs for them.
Yeah, a few more questions from me. The role of music. What role do you see music playing in perhaps the education of young people, and what is your view? Some people are saying the music now is perhaps contributing to a lot of the activities that we see young people leaning towards, the negative activities. What say you?
That one I will say is, to some extent, when we look at the Jamaican, per se, the Jamaican artists, it's a bit raw. And they always say that what you listen to is maybe what will go into your brain and what will eventually be your actions. However, I believe that if our young people are guided into listening to more positive lyric songs, for one, I love my Denry segment. I don't see any issue
I was going there. I was going there because I know you're from Denry and you're familiar with the Denry segment. You love Denry segment, but you don't participate in a lot of the stuff that they say in the Denry segment.
No, to me, it is basically our young people being creative, our young people showing forth how they know and understand our culture. Because, for example, Denry segment, there's a lot of use of the Creole language. Mm-hmm. And many of our young persons, if you look carefully, many of them do not know how to speak the language. So I see it in a negative light that, hey, this is an opportunity for them to know certain words in Creole and not necessarily saying that it is derogatory and it is negative.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But I think your point is, even with exposure to the music, what's needed is proper guidance for the youth.
Definitely. Yeah.
Talk to the need for better role models. They seem to have disappeared.
Yes, having proper role models is important for our young people. Too many times, again, we highlight the negative. So whatever you show to us young people, we're looking and we will follow. However, we are very smart. I will say we are very smart, and we just want persons to empower us into being and doing the right thing.
Yeah. There's some, and I'm happy you went there, Madam President. I'm only going there because you go there. Some young people think that young people, the youth, are underestimated. We keep being told that you are the future when perhaps we are the now. You get a sense that young people, youth in particular, are underestimated here in St. Lucia.
I think I will leave this for our press conference. I will leave this for our press conference because you are definitely touching some issues that we want to bring a huge focus to during our press conference.
All right, madam. I take the hint from your briefing with your public relations officer. No problem. What is your vision, Madam President, incoming for the council? What do you want to see NYC after your 2 year? Perhaps you get another 10 year, but when you're no longer within the chair of president, what is the broader vision that you see for council?
The vision that I see is one where young persons are given a voice, young people are included in the decision making in our country, and young people are given an opportunity to bring forth their talents for a better St. Lucia and to develop St. Lucia as a whole. Also one of inclusivity, where we believe that everyone has a valuable contribution to make. And I want to press the point that NYC is serious business. We are investing in ensuring the needs of our young people are attended to. The executive is a dedicated team of individuals who are ready to take on any challenge to ensure that youth in St. Lucia receive the better end of the stick.
Yeah, I'm happy that you said the NYC's business is serious business, because quite often and historically, the NYC would have been used as a dancing floor perhaps for political candidates and political wannabes, but your mandate is a lot greater than that. You have a very important one, so I'm very, very happy to hear from you, Madam President, that you saying that outright. The business of NYC is very serious business. Two more from me and then I'll let you go. I know you have a lot to do today as well. You will be hoping to collaborate with other national youth councils outside of our St. Lucia in the region and internationally as well, other youth organizations out there.
Yes, definitely. We have CRIC, which is a Caribbean Regional Youth Council, where you get to understand the other issues that young people in the Caribbean face. And it is not without a doubt that we face similar challenges. So yes, we will be reaching out to other councils, youth-related agencies outside of our country.
Excellent, Yanika. We look forward to that. And your final message to the youth and to the people of St. Lucia. You are now in your 5th day as president of National Youth Council. What is your message?
My message to the young people and to St. Lucia at large is that we need the support. We need the young persons to get involved. We're doing this for you. We're ready to work for you. We're ready to have that voice out for you, no matter what work or whatever situation that you are going through. We want young people to rally with us. We want them to pick up a phone and call us and let us help St. Lucia develop fruitful and successful young people.
Yeah, excellent. Somebody's saying without a university on the island capable of doing R&D with scientists, the youth will never have good role models. Somebody else is saying music today is encouraging
Point
much of the
taken.
violence. Even the soca music turns the youth to promiscuous individuals. Just some feedback from some of our viewers. Madam President, I think you
Awesome.
represented yourself and your executive with distinction. We look forward to your tenure and your service over the 2-year period, and we wish yourself and the team the very best. When is your press conference?
Our press conference is on Monday. A press release will be coming out before that to inform the general public as to the exact details.
Yeah. Thanks so much, Yanika, and all the best to you and the new team.
Thank you so very much, Mr. LeBon.
You're most welcome. Yanika Jabbar Williams, new president of the National Youth Council. Thank you to Nisha, and thank you to the entire team. Congratulations to you all. We will, of course, highlight the contents coming out of your press conference next week, Monday. This has been our interview this hour with the NYC's president. Stay with us just about 15 minutes before 9 o'clock. We conclude on top the hour of 9 on this Thursday. From the management and staff of Hot 7, we wish you and yours happy holidays.